So in seeking out the academy, I'd spent a lot of time with executive coaching, and conflict mediation was always on my radar of, wow, this would be a really complementary skill set with coaching. And so I'd taken some training through the dispute resolution office, but really in coming to the academy, it was about deepening my skill set. It was about being exposed to other people in different networks. And, to tell you the truth, in kind of coming to the academy, I was probably a little bit more goal orientated of, I need to get my QMed. I was rushing, which, the academy really kind of just slowed things down, took the pressure off, and put me more at ease just with adult learning in general. So it became more about just the skill set, right, of kind of those hours. But the framework as well has been very useful for me. And so originally it was need my QMed. I still don't have my QMed, but I feel very successful. It's one of those things that's now become kind of at the bottom of my list. It's more about being in a learning rich environment with really motivated, interesting people. Yeah. I think the way that the academy has really helped me in pursuing kind of my goals related to conflict mediation is having many different paths and resources, right? Just right out the gate. So I did take the intro to family mediation. And what I like about the training is that it doesn't end. There's a practice group for that. There's a bookshelf of books here. Now you've met all of these amazing people. And so there's just many doors open. And even in terms of the calendar, right? If there was a course that you wanted to take, they come up frequently enough. And so those intensives were also a really nice kind of supplement. It's just that learning continues, right? Is really, I think, the support of the goal, support of my goals. And the people that I've met, I still interact with them. I'm part of the QMed practice group. As I mentioned, I'm kind of less about getting the QMed, which is the hilarious part of let me sign up for this group. But I show up because it's a great blend of challenging myself to step into the mediator chair, but also to witness other people's styles. I like that it's got kind of that, it's a feedback rich environment is what it is, right? What does Charmaine always say? The sun always rises, right? And so even if maybe your scenario didn't exactly go as you planned, sometimes it's better that way, which is ironic kind of saying it, that you didn't get the check mark or whatever it happened, because it's that safety with learning. Everybody there, when they're giving feedback, it's meant for kind of your betterment, right? And then also being in that place of giving feedback to others, it just sort of pops you into that reflective practice, which is also promoted. I have a journal, so it's kind of, I set an intention before my mediation. And then at the end, it's kind of, scoring of where I was at, maybe what changed throughout it. And then just getting curious a little bit at the twists and turns of what actually happened in the mediation. Because I think that's the thing, you can have a plan, but all sorts of things come up, whether it's kind of the people that you're mediating with, or also just internally, right? Some of those voices and those hunches. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So most significant experience would definitely be the QMed practice group. As you mentioned, it started with a small group of people, and now more and more have been added, which is great because there's kind of that exposure piece. But it's just been this really nice, every 2 weeks kind of. So what I like with training is when there's a mechanism to keep it live. I think so many of us take training and then, I have tons of binders you can see behind me. It's great. I took ProSci training, but what am I doing with that, right? And so we go through the pieces model. And so even if you aren't necessarily the mediator that's in the chair, so as I mentioned, you see that person's style, you see how they might approach each of those phases, you see the dance between the phases. When you are in the simulation as a role player, there's the added value in that as well of, you kind of sometimes identify with a character of, no, I have this need and I'm going to stick to it, because it doesn't serve the mediator for me to give it up or to kind of play along, right? Like that, even though we are role playing, there's a real aspect. And so you get to kind of experience mediation from many different lenses, which I think just enhances the richness of that learning environment, right? So you've got that observer, if you're not part of the mediation, the mediator as you're kind of rolling through, and then the role player. And it's just, I think the academy attracts a certain type of person that is there, just shows up really fully from a supportive, safe place. Everybody is cheering each other on. I think there's too many arenas that are competitive, cutthroat, those types of things. That's not the way at all, right? Like everybody is just there for each other's success. And it's something that I look forward to. It's the time of day, I'm like, oh my goodness. So I work all day and usually my energy is going down like this. But as soon as we kind of wrap, I always leave kind of with tank full and my brain is going, like it gives these little seeds and insights to kind of take away, right? And so that would absolutely be the highlight. It's a really beautiful little container of people, and the people that come in are absolutely perfect, and then the people that transition out, right? Like it's an ebb and flow. But it's been a game changer for me. I think it's such a welcoming place, right? You can sort of show up and you have more questions than you have answers. And anytime that I've really had a burning question about anything, there's just that amazing support. And, Demi, I've chatted with everybody kind of in the building, and everybody comes at it from a different lens. And I think you guys kind of welcome participants to chat with multiple people, right? If we've kind of got curious questions, like that curiosity is something that is really nurtured within the environment. And there's always a way, I think, right? Like even this, oh my goodness, how could I possibly, like I said, I kind of came into it with timelines. I need to do all of these things, right? And that's been another really amazing part of the support, is just we change our minds, or our needs change, or we thought it was one way and it kind of ebbs another. It's a level of support with training that sometimes you feel that it's more transactional, where I really feel, and it's great that you guys show up for each individual student support, and every student needs like something differently as well, right? Or even there's matching between people, different participants. And so that word collaborative, I think more of that in the world. You feel supported, and I see people rising, like their potential ups because of just that support, that resource base. Yeah. So it's been a beautiful experience for me, and I don't ever want it to stop, which is great. And I don't think it ever will, because there's so many different ways to keep showing up, right? Yeah.